guys. I hope the weekend has been good to you. I meant to come on a little bit earlier, well, quite a bit earlier today. I scheduled this around 3 or 3:30, and then I was doing stuff, watching TV with my dad and my brother. Just having life, and ended up going out to dinner with someone. But I'm here. I exist. I haven't run away. So last night, my mom and I watched Tomorrowland. Now, I enjoyed this movie. I think it is fun. I think that it builds a discussion about some things we need to talk about, because it's essentially a question of what is our future, what does our future look like, and what are we doing about it. And I think this is a question that we need to be considering. So, first off, what does in this movie, a little bit of a spoiler alert here. You have someone who gets this pin, and she sees this crazy city, just this beautiful city, filled with all this technology, with ships that are going out 50,000 light years and more, and jetpacks, and just clean transportation technology, and all this crazy flying trains. I mean, just a lot of ridiculous technology, and it's some fun stuff. But in this movie, there's also the question of what does our future look like, and how are we changing it? And there was this tower in the movie, where, because the city was an actual city, but was in a different dimension than our planet, and it was kind of broadcasting over to our planet, and it was supposed to be a warning of, hey, the future isn't looking good, bad things are about to come, change. And people weren't taking it as a warning, and they were finding, getting into all these books and video games and movies about this horrible future, and focusing on that, and not really stepping out and saying, okay, what are we doing to fix the future? And so the first thing we want to talk about is, what does the Bible say about the future? It says a lot, actually, and a lot of it has to do with what we are choosing to do, what we are building, and some of it is about what God is going to do. And if you look in the book of Revelation, there's really a lot to it. It can be really hard to understand at times. There are some parts of it that are just symbolic, but there are parts of it where it's like, hey, this is going to happen. And there are some really beautiful things that we hear about, and there are some terrifying things that we hear about. And so, there is this story that these prophecies that Scripture shares concerns about some bad things, about a new world government and 7 years of tribulation, and some pretty scary things. But we're not going to focus on that today. We're going to focus on the beautiful things. In Revelation 21, there is a description of a new heaven and a new earth. It says, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea." Now that sounds a little scary. Our planet's gone, what? But remember, it says there's a new heaven and a new earth. "I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the for the old order of things has passed away. He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. Then he said, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. He said, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give water without cost, from the spring of the water of life. Those who are victorious will inherit all this, and I will be their God, and they will be my children. But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the idolaters, and all liars, they will be consigned to the fiery lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death. Okay, so obviously that last part is a little like, whoa, that's crazy, that's weird. But what is he saying? He's saying there is a great future happening. There is something amazing coming. He shares with us that there's going to be a new heaven, a new earth, that God's presence will be with us in a way we have never felt before. Something that is valuable, something that is immersive, something that we just haven't experienced yet, something powerful and beautiful. And he doesn't say, well, hey, this is for everyone. He says, hey, this is for those who have seriously sought out God. And so our future is a bright one. We have a choice. We can either seek out God or not seek him out. But as we seek him out, he builds a beautiful future for us. And then another thought that I felt was from this movie, from Tomorrowland, one of the issues was that they were sending the signal of warning about bad things to people, but instead of taking it as a warning, they were just kind of dwelling on the bad and expecting the bad things to happen and running with it. And so it started here. It started mentally. And so with it starting mentally, I want us to think about another scripture. Let's see. So, Colossians, I was reading Colossians, Philippians, that's right, that's me. Okay, so in Paul's final exhortations in Philippians, he says this, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And so as we are figuring out what are we doing with our future, what are we seeking out, we need to be starting with these beautiful, these wonderful things, these honorable, praiseworthy, whatever is right, whatever is pure. We need to be seeking these out. And it starts up here. It starts with, what are you thinking about? And I'm not perfect at this. I've had times when my thought life was weird and awry, and I've had to work on that myself a lot. And I have days when it goes well and days when it doesn't go well. But it starts with that. But it doesn't end with that, because part of the future isn't just the amazing things God's going to do that are way bigger than we could do. Part of the future is, what are we doing to make it a better future? And Jesus was really encouraging this all the time. He chided the Pharisees for the way they treated people and for being so self-centered. And he called everyone to take care of the poor, to take care of those who are in rough circumstances. the orphans and the widows and those who could not provide for themselves. He challenged people to be taking care of them. And so as we make our determinations about what we are doing for the future, we need to be asking those questions of how am I helping those who are less fortunate? And for me, there's been times when I've just made donations to things like Habitat for Humanity and other organizations that I trust. There have been a few times when I've been able to help out with a food truck that my church hosts for Feeding America, where people come and we give them a pizza dinner and then give them the opportunity to come collect some food they can take home and help provide for them at home. It looks different for everybody. Everybody has a different skill set. You may have a skill set that would make you great to volunteer once in a while with Habitat for Humanity with building a home. You might have a skill set that would be better for helping out in the office of a place that helps people with babies. Everyone has different skill sets. But as you think about the future, first of all, know that God does have something beautiful available for us. And we have a choice. We can either follow Him to find it or not follow Him. But along with that, think about, make sure the things you've got thinking in your head are pure and wonderful and beautiful. And then from there, say, what am I doing? What am I physically doing to help make the world a better place even now? So, all right, I don't see any questions here. So thank you for joining. And let's make sure through these next few days to be praying for Texas. They had that horrible massacre at a church down there. So let's be praying that God would bring healing and hope to that town. And may Christ be with you.